Not since 2016 has the winner of the AFL Rising Star been nominated for the award post round 14. So, using that modern history, let's have a look at who I think is going to win the NAB AFL Rising Star for season 2023. Let's go. So this is going to be a top 5 list for mine. I know the voting goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 being the best, but I'm doing it as a top 5 list, so I am going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but 1 is the best player rather than the 5 in traditional voting. If you're still watching after that explanation, thanks, I really appreciate it. But let's talk about the guys that have been nominated so far and the ones that I won't really be talking about post this little spiel, and their names are on the screen. Do I like all these players? Of course. Love Joshy Weddle because I'm a Hawthorn fan. The rest of them look really good. I am not claiming that they are anything otherwise. I don't think any of them have a chance to win the award though. So, I'm not really going to talk about them past here. However, there are 3 guys that I think aren't in my top 5 but could make a late charge at the end of the year for a variety of reasons. I think Finn Callaghan is the most underrated player in this sort of rising star class, if you will. Bailey Humphrey at the Gold Coast Suns, after signing that contract extension, was playing some really, really good footy. He, like Gold Coast, were pretty quiet on the weekend, but you don't judge the Rising Star off someone's worst game or even their best game, but the variety of work that they are able to put together throughout a season, and I still think that he can make a charge. And of course, Georgie Wardlaw is just a gun at this point, and what he can do in the back end of the year might be able to get him some votes. Will it make him win the award? I doubt it, but I'm putting him in here anyway because he is a star. I love him already, and of these guys that can make a charge, I'm putting him in there as well. So, is what it is. Let's get into the top 5, and let's start with a bloke from the Fremantle Football Club, Jai Amos. This guy, I know I spoke about underrated players in this draft class with Finn Callaghan, but Jai's definitely up there as well. The bloke's kicked 23 goals from 12 games without a key forward helping him out, and he's so young. Now, I know I loved him coming out of the draft year, but there really is no bias here. The bloke is taking contested marks inside forward 50s and he's kicking goals. What more do you want from these guys? Like, I'm just asking, what are these guys doing that isn't really that good enough? And why isn't he being noticed? Is this a case of Vic bias being undeniably real? Well, I am going to talk about a guy who is playing forward for a Melbourne team. Now, I think he is performing a lot better than Jai Amos, which is why Jai is 5 and this guy will be further up on the list. But there definitely does seem to be a bit of forgotten nature about Jai. He is very much either take a mark, whether that's on the lead or sometimes in a one-on-one, go back, kick the goal, relatively boring in that sense. But, and I'm not saying he's going to end up this type of player, Jason Dunstall is described as pretty boring as well for some of the same reasons. And if Jai can keep up his really accurate kicking of 23-7 that he's got, his bang for buck is going to be amazing for Freo as well. I don't think he deserves to go unrewarded. He is going to be my number 5. Let's go to number 4. Now, these guys' stats won't be, or this guy's stats, I should say, won't read as sexily, but if you aren't seeing what Max Michaelani is doing at the Adelaide Crows in terms of shutting down tall, medium, and small forwards, I don't really know what to tell you, and I won't really be able to convince you of why he's on this list if you aren't really paying attention. This kid is 19 years old and has taken down forwards of all sizes. I loved some of his contest work in the showdown against their bigger players. I've also seen him do really, really well on Collingwood small forwards. That's good enough for me, and the fact that he rarely gets beaten in one-on-ones, he is lightning quick on the ground, and his kicking efficiency is really nice when he doesn't try to bite off more than he can chew. Definitely has him on this list. Will he end up this way at the end of the season? I'm not so sure. These are the rankings as of now, and then I'll tell you who I think he's going to win it at the end of the video. But if you don't have him in your 5, I just don't think you're watching enough of him at the moment. This kid's going to be something awesome, and the Crows got him as a father-son. Whether they should have or not is probably context for another video, but I don't really see a problem with it, and let me tell you, no one at the Crom does either. Number 3, potentially controversial, I'm going with Will Ashcroft. Now, the stats on the screen look really good. He's looked really good. Where I think where he loses points, I should say, is kind of where Brisbane lose credentials for the premiership as well, in that the gap between his Gabba form and his non-Gabba form is just too far for me to really say he's a picture of consistency. And you might think, picture of consistency, he's a young player, that's the point. I agree. I think he's the third currently best performing young player in the competition. That cannot be an insult at this point, but the other two guys are doing it no matter what the opposition are and no real matter what the scenario is. I think Will has the potential to be the best player in this draft. This is a guy that has walked into a midfield with Lachie Neale and Josh Dunkley and is performing well. That's pretty much all I've got to say about Will. It's a fantastic effort. Number 2, I'm going to go to the St Kilda Football Club and come up with Mitch Owens. Not only is this guy an underrated forward, although I do think he is getting the media attention he deserves, what he's not getting the attention for, which I think is kind of criminally under the radar here, is how good he is as a second ruckman. He has a hit out to advantage percentage rate of just under 45. What? Now, considering you've got teams like your Melbournes, like your Fremantles when Sean Darcy is fit, and these teams that do have two genuine ruckmen, that is astounding that he is able to do that. I love what this guy's got to offer. He's not a key forward size, but he can play like one. He's not a ruckman size, but he can play like one. Every time he touches the footy, it seems like something awesome is happening. I do think you've got to reward the fact that he can play two roles very efficiently. Yes, the Saints got him extremely cheaply because of the Next Generation Academy, but they have unlocked a genuine ripper here. Every Saint fan loves him. The media are starting to love him more and more now, and I have him at number 2 on my rankings, which of course leads me to the Sheezel himself. Harry Sheezel is my number 1. Now, I think that the Sheezel love is evaporating a little bit because his game is very much the same from week to week. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have tricks, but it's kind of like what Nick Dacos was doing last year. He was hurting you by what you know, not by what you don't know. So we know that he is going to be awesome in the back half and can rotate through the middle at times. So what does he do? He damages you off half back, can go into the midfield and win a clearance, and we've seen him be pretty productive as a forward as well, although his shot on goal percentage is a little bit poor. This kid can do it all at this. He can do everything but play ruck at this point, I think. Yes, you might look at things like kick-ins, you might look at things like cheap disposals if that's how you want to get your kicks. Good luck to you. His contested possession rate is less than 50%. If you think that's a bad thing, good luck to you. But can you honestly look at the way this kid plays the game and think that he's not the best first-year player so far? Now, if you can, differing opinion, comment below, let me know. I don't see it. I don't understand the hate. He is consistently incredible, and we can't let a season like the one that he is having go under the radar because you don't think his style of play is sexy enough. Harry Sheezel's the best for mine, and probably in the other contention for the number 1 pick. But what do you guys think? Comment below, let me know. Who do you think is going to win the Rising Star by the end of the season? Personally, I think Sheezel does hang on, but it is down to Sheezel, Owens, and Ashcroft. I think by the end of the year, Ashcroft is going to finish second on votes, with Owens coming in third, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for the love that you've given to the video earlier in the week, the Richmond video. I really appreciate that. If you want to help support the channel a little bit financially, $4.99 a month is all you need. For patreon.com, there is now close to 30 pieces of bonus content that you can dive into straight away, including the round 14 Brownlow Brief, in which we have a new leader, and it is getting tight at the top, people. So make sure you stay ahead of the game as you check out every game, every vote, and an updated leaderboard at the end of every round. I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Capital Edge Australia. They are the country's leading residential real estate and property investment educators. They are wanting everyday Australians to grow generational wealth through property and want to educate you on how to do it. Whether you're setting up a meeting or you just need an update, whether you need to find an accountant, builder, or conveyancer, it will cost you nothing if you work through Capital Edge. You are wanting to make the process as quick, efficient, and easy for everyday Australians. If you click the first link in the description below, you'll be able to get a free online copy of this book here, Becoming an Educated Property Investor. It is the 3rd edition. As the real estate market trends and styles continue to evolve, so do Capital Edge Australia. If you want to visit their website, you absolutely can, capitaledgeaustralia.com.au. That is the second link in the description as well, and get started on your journey. A massive thank you to you guys for supporting the channel, and a massive thanks to Capital Edge Australia for jumping on board. I'm going to shut up and go away now. Hope your footy tipping goes well. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. The Aussies are 1-0 up on England. Stick that up here, you dirty poms. I still haven't slept. Actually, I watched the entire thing, so I'm going to go lie down. Goodbye.